Hi, welcome to a new movie recap. Today we will recap The Good Nurse, a movie based of real facts. The hushed corridors of Pennsylvania's St. Aloysius Hospital in 1996 bore witness to a scene of urgency as nurses and doctors scrambled to a patient in a sudden medical crisis. Despite their concerted efforts, the patient slipped away, leaving a young nurse named Charlie paralyzed with helplessness as the heart monitor's ominous flatline echoed through the ward. Fast forward 7 years to the bustling halls of Parkfield Memorial Hospital in 2003, situated in the heart of New Jersey. Here, we encounter Amy Loughran, a nurse whose stellar reputation echoes not only among her colleagues but also resonates profoundly with her patients. However, beneath this veneer of professional success, Amy grapples with her own adversities. A single mother to 2 young girls, she navigates the complexities of life with an additional burden: a serious heart condition demanding a transplant. Enter Charles Cullen, a fresh addition to the hospital's staff, his arrival a harbinger of significant changes. Amy, grappling with her health issues, finds an unexpected ally in Charles. Known for his kindness and willingness to extend a helping hand, Charles quickly forges a bond with Amy. As their friendship blossoms, he becomes privy to Amy's hidden struggles, promising to guard her secret and offering his support for the next 4 critical months. However, the hospital soon becomes the backdrop for a series of mysterious deaths, casting a sinister shadow over the seemingly tranquil environment. It is against this backdrop that the relationship between Amy and Charles takes an unforeseen turn. A patient, typically under Amy's vigilant care, succumbs under suspicious circumstances on a night when she is not on duty. The subtle irregularities in the patient's vital signs raise uneasy questions, yet the hospital staff, for various reasons, seems reluctant to pursue a thorough investigation immediately. This reluctance adds a layer of complexity to an already enigmatic situation. In the midst of this unfolding drama, Charles shares a deeply personal recollection with Amy, recounting the traumatic loss of his own mother during childhood. The unsettling details of how the hospital misplaced and later recovered his mother's body resonate with Amy, forging an unexpected connection between the 2 colleagues. Although the narrative remains free from any romantic entanglements, Charles ingrains himself in Amy's life, fulfilling his promise to support her by regularly visiting her home. This act extends beyond professional courtesy, involving Amy's daughters, and reveals a vulnerability in Charles that Amy, in her precarious situation, finds relatable and authentic. Charles's revelation about losing custody of his own daughters due to accusations of animal abuse adds a layer of sympathy to his character in Amy's eyes. Meanwhile, the hospital administration confronts unsettling revelations about the patient who met an untimely demise. Suspecting medication-related complications, a standard protocol mandates contacting the police to initiate a formal investigation. The hospital authorities, hesitant and perhaps fearful of the repercussions, delay involving law enforcement for 7 weeks, ostensibly conducting an internal inquiry in the interim. The patient's body, already cremated by the family with no knowledge of the actual cause of death, poses a significant challenge for the investigating officers, Danny Baldwin and Tim Braun. Their meticulous interviews with hospital staff, conducted in the presence of Linda Guerin, the risk manager, shed light on an unusual reaction to medications, signaling potential negligence. The focus shifts when the officers uncover Charles Cullen's previous criminal charge in Pennsylvania for trespassing. Pursuing this lead reveals a disturbing pattern. Charles has moved through approximately 6 hospitals over the past few years, and each institution remains tight-lipped about his record. This clandestine approach suggests a possibility that Charles might have engaged in wrongdoing at each location, with hospitals preferring silence to accountability. As the investigators continue their pursuit, the Parkfield administration, aligned with the clandestine strategy, provides erroneous and incomplete reports regarding the nurse's medicine withdrawal records. It becomes increasingly evident that the hospital is invested in concealing the truth and avoiding any potential legal consequences. Meanwhile, a second patient succumbs to an overdose of insulin and digoxin, further complicating the narrative. Despite being barred by the hospital authorities due to a confrontation with Linda Guerin, the investigators receive crucial information from Amy, who remains shocked by their suspicions about her close friend. Motivated by a desire for justice, Amy delves into the investigation, seeking insight from a nurse who had worked with Charles in a previous hospital. The nurse confirms rumors of Charles's involvement in patient deaths, providing an unsettling backdrop to his character. Amy's tenacity uncovers critical evidence at Parkfield, tampering with IV fluid bags. This discovery, coupled with her exploration of the medicine disposal system records, exposes Charles's manipulation. A cunning trick to cancel drug requests after a certain period, concealing the administration of insulin and digoxin, comes to light. Amy presents this damning information to the investigators, offering a breakthrough in the case. Despite these revelations, legal complexities loom over the case. Parkfield Hospital, eager to distance itself from the brewing scandal, promptly terminates Charles, citing a minor error in his employment records as justification. This preemptive move aims to evade accountability, a shared sentiment among the hospitals that swiftly dismissed Charles whenever suspicions arose. Faced with the challenge of securing a confession, the investigators are left with no option but to seek Amy's cooperation. Driven by desperation and a need for closure, they approach Amy, imploring her assistance in persuading Charles to confess to his crimes. Aware of the dangers and terrified for her daughters, Amy reluctantly agrees, navigating the delicate balance of deceit and collaboration. In a harrowing turn of events, Charles is arrested but remains tight-lipped about his actions, vehemently refusing to disclose any information. Fearing his release without a confession, the investigators grapple with the urgency of the situation. It is Amy, torn between fear and a sense of moral duty, who decides to intervene once again. She visits Charles at the police station, employing a delicate balance of kindness and encouragement. To everyone's surprise, Charles, seemingly comforted by Amy's words, appears ready to talk. As the investigators inquire about his motives, Charles begins to unravel a chilling admission, a staggering revelation that he had killed many patients. However, the mystery deepens as Charles claims to be oblivious to the reasons behind his actions. The distorted sense of saving patients from mistreatment, stemming from the traumatic experiences of his mother's ill-fated hospital stay, becomes a haunting motif in Charles's narrative. This revelation catapults Charles Cullen into infamy, unveiling a nurse who, by his own admission, committed heinous acts on a scale unimaginable. Experts and researchers estimate the actual number of victims to be close to 400, though the exact count remains obscured by the nature of his crimes. The Good Nurse concludes with the grim reality of Charles Cullen sentenced to 18 consecutive life terms in prison in 2003, marking the end of a dark chapter. The legacy of his crimes persists, leaving behind unanswered questions about the motivations that propelled a nurse into becoming one of the most prolific serial killers in the medical profession's history. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to subscribe for more thrilling movies.